that attacks a person for saying people must go to school. One, an educated black nation is a threat to white dominance. Viva! Forward to expropriation of land without compensation. Forward. Forward to free decolonized education. Forward. Manda. Thank you very much, Secretary General, our President of the SRC, leadership of the Student Command, our commissars, the Chairperson and the Secretary of the province. It's unfortunate we do not have time. You were going to give our Chairperson an opportunity to speak to you so that you can hear this fire eater and the Winnie Mandela of our time. Because we said Winnie Mandela did not die, but she multiplied. That's what we see in the female leadership and leadership of the UFS. I am here to talk to you about the significance of the age, because many young people take the election for granted and they even think that it is an activity of the elderly people. I know we've got our workers here who are going to vote because all the people who have gone through pain, they appreciate the importance of voting, and therefore we have to join them in that struggle to change the material condition of our people. When you are a student, you are a member of a community. You come from a particular community with challenges, and therefore to come to a university and now start to behave as if you are not part of the community, you are being disingenuous, you are not being real, you are being fake, and society doesn't treat fake people very well. Because when you graduate, you are going to be confronted with those challenges you were avoiding when you were in the university. So for you to participate and solve those problems now, you are actually creating a good environment so that when you leave here, you are received by a good environment. The future is not what awaits us in some place somewhere. The future is what we create for ourselves. What you decide now will constitute part of your future moving forward. So it is important that we decide that future now, and that future must be economic freedom. We appreciate political freedom. We do not take political freedom for granted. We know that the EFF is not the first organization to fight for our freedom. The ANC came, the PAC came, the State People generation came, the 1976 generation came, the 80s generation young people came to fight for our political freedom and ultimately declared gave in the early 90s. Therefore, declared did not give us our freedom. People fought for this freedom, and we can give an account of those people and who led them at a particular moment in history. Once political freedom was attained in 1994, it was not accompanied by economic freedom, and partly because a lot of compromises were made during Codesa. The compromises constituted, some of the compromises were constituted by the land compromise, where a fundamental mistake was made. Because at the core of the foundation of the revolution was the land question. The reason why there was a struggle in South Africa, it is because the black people who were defeated in the wars of resistance, they agreed to come together and constitute a struggle, because when they fought as small tribal groups, they thought this is not helpful, let's come together to fight for our land. So the struggle, the revolution has always been about the land. That which constituted the core values of the revolution was at the core of a compromise in the negotiation. So that which made you to go into the trenches, that which made you to go to prison, was put aside during negotiations. That's why we got it all wrong in the past 25 years. When they arrived here, they took the land. They didn't take anything else. They didn't take our men, they didn't take our women. They took the land. Everything followed. Our men followed, our women followed, the resources followed. Everything that is on this land followed. That's why it was put aside during negotiation. You want to vote? Yes, we'll give you the right to vote on condition you do not tamper with the property ownership in South Africa. So as long as you do not tamper with property ownership in South Africa, the struggle is useless. It doesn't mean anything, because these mothers who are cleaning here, they clean because they do not own the property. The owners of the property do not clean. That's why every other aspect of life which is easily disposable, which is cheap and pays lower salaries, you'll find those who do not own property. When I say so, I try to sound diplomatic and decent. So you'll find black people at the receiving end. There is no white person who constitutes the core of those who are at the receiving end. So if you want cleaners, it's black people. If you want people who dig graves, it's black people. If you want security guards, the drivers of the TLBs and the trucks, those who abandon their families for greener pastures, is black people. But the white minority, because they own, they will never go somewhere to look for greener pastures in the absence of their families. Why? They make that part of the negotiation. That if you're offering me this and that, part of me accepting your offer should include where I'm going to stay with my family. So they can afford to negotiate that because they are not at a lower level. Women are also at a lower level. Not only women, African women. They are oppressed more than men. Firstly, because they are women. Secondly, because they are working class. Thirdly, because they are African. And therefore, when you deal with those at the receiving end, you must know the core of that receiving end is the woman, African women in particular. So this can only be changed with property ownership. So land means ownership of property. Because the ownership of property brings about confidence, brings about pride in everyone who owns a property. For as long as you are like we said in close and you are propertyless, someone has to remind people that no, it's a different black man household. He's got a PhD. As long as blacks do not own the means of production, it doesn't matter how much qualified you are black and you shall always be treated with disrespect because blacks do not own property. In order for you to receive the respect of a PhD, master's, honors graduate, someone has to whisper to the owners of the means of production. Patrice Motsepe is not different from you. He may want to pretend like he is, but someone has to introduce him. So if Patrice was to walk into this racist university and go into a restaurant where there are white people, and he walks in there not in a suit but wearing a white t-shirt from Ackermans or Truett, he walks in there alone, he will be treated the same way you are treated, irrespective of his billions. Why? He is black and is a suspect. So when he walks in, the white ladies are going to hold their purse tight. And then the boys who are there, they are going to start putting their cell phones in their pocket, because a potential criminal has walked in, until someone says he is a different one. He doesn't get his respect automatically. He is a different one. Why do you say that? Is Patrice Motsepe that one of billions? How are you saying? How are you saying? Because you are black, you are a suspect. And what makes you a suspect is because blacks do not own properties. And why? Because they were excluded, they do not own properties, they are suspect, and the propertyless people can commit crime at any time because they've got nothing to lose. That's why they are scared of you. So the day you own all of us, that's the day we are all going to automatically earn the respect of those who look down at us. So every person who walks in shall be treated as an equal because you own property. As long as there is Alexander, as long as there is Butare, as long as they are black people's areas with the sewage spillage and rubble and rubbish all over in the shacks, as long as they are hospitals without equipment that can be used to save black life, you are all going to be disrespected. So if you are alive, you've got a degree, you've got a better job, you must know it's not enough until you have liberated the last black person on the queue in order for you to earn. Now, we arrived in 1994, took power, and wanted to behave the same way our white masters were behaving. And once we behave like that, we forget what is at the core of the liberation of our people. Part of the debate in allowing black people to vote was, which white people offered by the way, we can only allow black people with property to vote. Those were some of the offers offered by white people. That's how important the ownership of property is. We can only allow black people who own property to vote. Because the rest, they will mess up the vote, they've got nothing to lose. And they are right. That's why we are so angry. All of you here, you are very angry, and sometimes you want to behave like you are decent in the presence of these others. But something inside you just tells you I'm tolerating rubbish. So when we say all whites are racist and they deny it, we must not be part of the people who say all blacks are angry. We are angry. It is in your subconsciousness. It's there. Because every time you see what these mothers are going through here, every time you see how the white boys and girls treat them, you're like so helpless. And then that develops into a bottled anger, subtle anger that we all suffer from. Not because they did it to me, but because they do it to a black mother. And when I see her, I immediately see my man. To treat her like that, you make me so angry. But there's nothing I can do, because if I touch you, I will be expelled from here. You are allowed to touch me. Nothing will happen to you. Like they did, beating up our students, and we losing some of them later without anyone being expelled from Shimla Park incident. It is because they are allowed to touch us. We are not allowed to touch them. But it's a matter of time. They must know that it's a matter of time. If we cannot fix the property relations and ownership in South Africa, it's a matter of time. Because this anger is going on and on and on. It's going to be started by one person. The next person will say it's right. The other one will say it's right. The other, before you know it, this country catches fire. We ought to give our people property in order for them to be treated as equal, and in that way you will do away with anger. Because what makes our people angry is to be treated as unequal, as subjects, as monkeys who can be shot at any time and be told that this person was shot because he stole a sunflower. This person was shot because he was mistaken for a monkey. This person was shot because we thought he was stealing the tractor. But that person was driving that tractor for the past 15 years. All of a sudden today we thought he's stealing the tractor. So all of that should be resolved. Otherwise we are confronted with an unled revolution. The ANC got it wrong for the 25 years. Why? Because they did not touch the land. Once you touch property, you will see anger of white people. They don't want Julius Malema. You can go and read it because you are young intellectuals. You must enjoy reading. Read all UFS material. Nowhere does EFF say it will kill white people. Nowhere does the EFF say it will drive them to the sea. Nowhere does the EFF say they will never own property. But they are very angry against the EFF because of the weight equality. They are not scared of war. White people can fight. They are actually having more weapons than the South African army and the police combined. They are well armed. One, they've got America on their side. They've got London on their side. The reason why America is called a superpower is not because of money. It is because of their army. The American army can defeat the world army combined, including China. By the way, they can wipe China in less than no time. Why and how? Every region in the world has got an American base. So if China declares war against them, and then South Africa says it's going to support China, they use the Botswana base of the American army to close out South Africa. China doesn't have that capacity. In Botswana, America has got an airport where you can land a war jet which will take, once it has taken off, 2 minutes to hit the Union building. 2 minutes. That's how powerful they are. So when I say the whites are well armed, it is because of such support they have. When me and you have got nowhere to go. If they start now, we've got no one to call. So we must appreciate that they are not scared of war. They are scared of the wage equality. Why are they scared of it? The UFS with 2/3 majority will just pass a law that will expropriate land without compensation. And there is no blood, nothing. If you want to challenge it, go to court. The court says, my role is to interpret the law. They are correct. The law says they can expropriate without compensation. Then they lose their land. When they lose that land, if they want to fight, they don't have to face me and you. They must face the law enforcement. Again, it's now the law. They must face the law enforcement. The police must go and enforce the law. The soldiers must go and enforce the law. Me and you, we do not touch them. That's why I said we will never go to the Hague Court. We'll never be taken to International Criminals Court because we won't touch them. We'll just change the law. And they have to be compliant with the law, or else they must face prison. If they don't want to face prison and they don't want to be compliant with the radical law, their ports are open. And when they leave, they must not make noise. We are too busy fixing the country. We don't want noise. They must leave quietly. That's what the ANC should have done. That's what your favorite Man Crush Monday baby should have done. With his 2/3 majority, he should have passed the law and give people the land. He has not done so, and he thinks he can lecture us about what constitutes the future of South Africa. If he knew what constitutes the future of South Africa, he should have done it when he had 2/3 majority. He didn't do anything. Actually, this white became more and more arrogant under his leadership. That's why they were even made our parents in this university to drink the urine of white boys. That smells from the gate. Can you imagine a white boy's urine smelling from the gate? Someone must come and drink it. That thing was a crime against humanity. Those boys, history must never forgive them. So we want these parents of ours insourced. Insourced is not something that will end their suffering. But it is the beginning of restoring their confidence and their respect and their dignity. Yes. When they know that I've got a job, and this job is secured, and this job pays well. This job has got pension fund. Some of them come from countries like Lesotho, come from places like Venda, like Umtata. They've never been home because there's never a period in their life where they've saved enough to go home. The only time they will go home, that's when they go on pension and they are no longer able to work. They would have left Umtata for 35 years. They will see them after retirement. They will have nothing to show that where I went, I was working. They will have nothing to show. No pension fund, no nothing. Why? They are working for companies. Every time a new company wins a tender, they change a uniform from this one to a new one. Every time the other one comes, that's why this job is not secure and stable. So we need to secure. A temporary worker can be fired anytime. Yes. Some of them are sexually harassed. They don't even talk about it. Because it is this job that stands between them and poverty. The day they talk, a white man fires them without a hearing in protection of a white manager who harasses them. But when they are permanent, no one will sexually harass them. No one will rape. That's why they rape domestic workers. They are easily replaceable. No one will believe their story. Give them permanent jobs. Give them their confidence. Give them their dignity. Begin to hear the horrible stories they are going through. So when we say we want permanent jobs for them, we are not saying so because we want their vote. You know the student command fought for this even when it was not for election year. We have insulted them at Defense University. We have insulted them, some of them at UNISA, and maybe even in the most racist university called UP. Some of them are beginning to be insulted because we restore the dignity and confidence of them. Not only the cleaners, including the security guards, they must be insourced. The gardeners and all those who are working for private companies in this university, we don't want labor brokers. We want our workers to be insourced and work directly for the university. They must get the same benefit as lecturers. The salaries may not be the same. The benefits may not be equal because the levels of jobs are different. But let them have access. If a child of a lecturer can get into this university free of charge, let a child of a cleaner access this university free of charge. Actually, the cleaners need that more than the lecturers, more than the VC. They need those benefits. These are the people we have insourced in Johannesburg municipality, in Tshwane municipality, in Nelson Mandela municipality. We are not in a coalition with DA. We vote with them to keep the corrupt outside. Yes. But DA said insourcing is not our policy. We'll never insource. We said that's fine. We'll see. Then, for them to pass a budget, they need the EFF. So for the meeting of the budget to correct, first you need the EFF to come. So we said, no, we're not coming. We're busy with posters and loud hailing and but no, you must come. No, okay, if you want us to come, you must insource the security guards. But when we can look at it, not put in the budget, write it in the budget. They don't write it in the budget. When we arrive in the council, we find the insourcing of security is not there. They say we must now vote for budget. We say no, we're going to fold our arms. We are not voting for this budget which does not have the security, insourcing of security guards. We had to again go outside. We told them he doesn't need anything. The municipal manager must just amend the budget and allocate money for the insourcing. We'll vote with it. They included the workers insourcing. We voted with them. Now, the DA speaks like the insourcing of the workers is their policy. When they said it's not their policy. That's what the EFF does. We employ even before we become government. From behind. We just make things forever. If South Africa goes into a similar situation as Johannesburg and Pretoria, we won't go into a coalition with the ANC or with the DA. We will not even vote with them. Because we are voting with them in Tshwane and Johannesburg. Those whites are just disrespectful. It doesn't matter how much power we give to them, they will never respect you. This time we are not voting. We are folding our arms. Whoever got more votes will vote himself or herself into power. We only vote when we remove them. If there is a premier who's a problem, come here, TA. You see this guy? It's a big problem. And he has a big problem. Let's vote and remove this person. We vote and remove. And we say to DA, now we must vote for EFF premier. If they don't want, we fold our arms. Now when the ANC or the DA knows that we've got the power to remove, every time we speak, they will listen. Because they know if you don't listen, these ones will remove you. So we must have a speciality of removing. You want to stay in power, you want to enjoy the perks, you want to drive in blue life, just do the right thing. We won't remove you. But once you are accused and you can't explain yourself, you are out. So it's going to be a festival of removing one after another. Education is not something that will ever be left out in the negotiations. I'm happy everyone speaks about it. When we started, they said it's not possible. They actually sent the intelligence to come and investigate us. ACU complained that his phone is packed. Uyani Pampo's phone was packed. All fees must fall activists were packed. Children's phones, rooms were packed. Millions of rent were spent on buying the kids who were fighting for free education. Instead of taking that money and increasing the budget of education, they're spending it on buying the kids, including that Mtlebo who's useless. He doesn't know whether he's going or coming. He was bad. He was called to the Minister of Intelligence's house to be interrogated by the spooks. So, Barry, there's no money. Where will the money come from? These people, myself and Tulima Donzela, were CIA agents. We must be, once they declare you an agent, CIA agent, you must know you've got a permanent security on you to monitor your movements, your phones. So my phone, as I speak now, it has got someone with a permanent chair on it, listening to those conversations. But I don't have a problem because that which I say on the phone, I repeat it outside. So it doesn't matter. You are wasting your time listening to me because there's no secret here. I just tell you the truth. Whether you like it or not, it's your own baby to feed Malta brothers. None of it. Now, Zuma said, there's no money. If we give you free education, we'll collapse the country. I'm happy now. They came back to their senses. They are giving you ample free education. Almost free education. We are happy. They are coming to the party. There is no one in South Africa who's going to be part of the future who doesn't talk or implement free education. It's non-negotiable. They all speak about it. We are now talking about how do we perfect it? Because this thing that you've got NSFAS, it doesn't pay your accommodation. Whereas you are staying outside campus, you've got some drunkard landlord. Every time he wants to buy alcohol and he doesn't have money, he knocks at your door. Hey, my money, I want my money. Hey, NSFAS, what is NSFAS? Don't tell me about NSFAS. Get out of here. Compromising the security of our children. We want to fight for a free education where even those who stay outside, their money will be paid not monthly, annually. Once they say NSFAS has approved you, it must pay everything. You must not call it, this month you didn't pay, this month, immediately. The one that we must pay you is the monthly allowance, which must not be paid by NSFAS. NSFAS must pay it annually into the university account. It must be there. And then that dean of students must know. Or if the money doesn't come in, we are sleeping at his house. If we don't pay, we are coming to our house. But now, with NSFAS, we don't know who to go to. They just say NSFAS is not paid. The office of NSFAS is here. We also don't know. We didn't receive the money. Approval should mean everything is paid. The books are paid. The accommodation is paid. The fees are paid, including registration, because no one should pay registration. Why are you rich during registration and poor after registration? We can't have universities that are led by non-thinkers on such obvious issues. We want you to be poor throughout. By the way, when you came to the university, you are from a no-fee school. Automatically, you must qualify. By the way, your parents are recipients of social grants. The system must be linked like that. All they must ask from you is your mother and your father's ID. When they punch it, it must tell the story of your life. Not this nonsense. Tell him to go and do an affidavit. Hey, go and do this and go and do that. When you come back, reject it. After the old woman has gone through trouble, borrowing money from Tomo to go and photocopy in Umtata, and then get people to certify. Then scan and send to you because already you are here. After going through that trouble, then they come back and say decline, rejected. All of that is a nonsensical thing which the EFF government will not tolerate. From there, when you are born, hospital must issue out birth certificate. The birth certificate must immediately say it is child of a recipient of a social grant. Automatically, the child grant kicks in. First day of birth. First day of birth. Apply for one. Because the mother is already in the system. Comrades, we are not friends with America. We don't like them for what they are doing in the world. But in America, you punch an ID, it tells the story of your life. Which school you went to, who have you dated in your lifetime. Because when we look for you, we must go and check for your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Or where is this criminal? The system is so linked like that. From there, automatically child grant in South Africa. From there, your seat must be allocated in school, at no fee school. You are going to travel that journey until you complete your first degree. Then we know that you've got the basic to go and look for a relatively paid job. Then you can further your studies on your own. We must be able to give you the basics. And then from there, you will confront life because you too will have to do for yourself. We don't want a society that is dependent on the state. We don't want a society that relies in time from birth to death on grants. At some point, you must be able to stand on your own and say, thank you, government, I will take it from here. So free education is non-negotiable. We cannot have a university like this excluding 100 students because they don't have fees. The criteria should be, do you have brains? That should say your brains should secure your seat at the university, not money. Education is not a commodity. You cannot say on the basis of money, even if you put brains, you can't get a seat. We have a problem of HIV here. What if you are the solution? You are going to find a vaccine to that problem. We take the solution out of education. What if you are going to be the best dermatologist to find a medication for bleeding demanding skin cancer? They take you out of education. We don't know what is sitting here. Sitting here are the solutions of Africa, not only South Africa, of the continent of Africa, who are the solution of our continent. Thabo Mbeki's era had an economy which grew, but the levels of unemployment were very high. The inequality increased under Mbeki, even when the economy was growing. So the growth of the economy should not be the only indicator to see if the country is in good health or not. We must check if people can read and write. A country with an economy that is growing, yet people cannot read and write, is not a country which can be given a clean health status. It's a sick country. Let us not glorify money over the development of our country, because that's what capital wants us to do. When we said go and walk in, go and get free education, they said Malema said people must go and die university, there's going to be a stampede, these kids are going to kill each other, registration is closed, why are they going into the school? The way Malema says, they must go to the school. I was attacked as if I said to you, go and get Nyaope. I've never seen a country that attacks a person for saying people must go to school. One, an educated black nation is a threat to white dominance. White supremacy survives on the inferiority of our people. If you're going to graduate here and still be inferior, that's your own problem. Don't be scared of a white man. Whether you've got a degree or not, for as long as you've got life and you are a human being, no one must give you nonsense, especially a white person. Especially in this university, you must just respond once or repeat that nonsense. I want to understand you properly. And then if he does repeat the nonsense, he must regret the day he was born. Gone are the days where you are going to treat us like rubbish. It ended with these manners, not with me. I'm not going to accept that nonsense. And when you do that, confronting white supremacy and white arrogance, you are not doing it for yourself only. You are fighting for the liberation of black people. Because when you deal with one white arrogant person, put that person on his place, they will begin to respect us. And when they respect us, it will not be because of my effort. It will be your effort of standing up to white arrogance. Don't give it a chance. The ANC members are not like EFF members. When they find a white person fighting with a black person, they will join a white person. Oh, this one is the one who started, the black person. When you are mentally liberated and you are EFF, when you find a white person fighting with a black person, you help the black person. And then ask later what happened to you. You must never succumb, because we are the most peaceful people. We never provoke anyone. We are not arrogant. They always come and provoke us. And when we defend ourselves, they say we are the ones who are wrong, because a white man will never be wrong in front of the white system, which is a racialized and institutionalized racism of this institution. Never get tired. Sometimes you are going to be expelled. Sometimes you are going to be beaten. If it's for a just cause, take the pale African child. It's not for you, it's for the rest who are coming after. We compete about when are you completing? Have you submitted your thesis? Those are the type of discussions the young intelligentsia must have amongst themselves. Not about tender, not about a job, not about your connection with corrupt Mahashule. Or not, like it was in for Mahashule and go organize the Banyana University. If you do that for your MECs and ministers, you must know your future is a future of an ice boy. You are going to be an old man who's sent to go and buy ice. Because when you were here, you were socializing and organizing social events for politicians. Don't join this old age of SASCO and ANC Youth League, which has been here forever. When you live here and say to them, I were with CIC at that place, no, I was with him when he was in the Youth League at the same place. Then you must know, exactly the problem the CIC was talking about, of becoming citizens in a university. They are no citizens yet. They are students here. And when you are a student, it means temporary residence. From there, you are out of here. You are going to confront white monopoly capital that owns the economy of South Africa. You must go into the economy and change the patterns of ownership in the economy. Don't be a coward and hide in the SRC office or hide in the residences. The whites are troubling us out there. We're waiting for you with your degree and your qualification and your polished English. Come and help us with the problem. These people have traveled us for a very long time. The village is waiting for you to come and say it stops here. You have been stealing the resources of these people through mining that is not investing in this community. We want you to invest in this community. This is what the law says, because the village now has got a graduate. We are waiting for you out there. Vote on the 8th of May, not for the past. Vote for the future. When they are going to come with nice t-shirts, wear them. If they bring artists, school can be boring sometimes. Go and listen to artists, jump a little bit, go back to your books. Regard that as an entertainment, not as the future of South Africa, because yours is not a future of entertainment. How can you be convinced by actors to go and vote for this or that? They themselves are not convinced. They are acting. It's their job to act. They are acting. When they live there they are all going to line up for their paycheck. So you don't go to celebrities, rallies of ANC, and then you say, hi, they brought Adama, they brought Chobi. On the basis of that, you are going to vote for them. Make an educated vote, not a vote of an excited young fellow who disregards the future. If you vote for them because you like the artists they brought, you vote for them because you like the t-shirt they gave you, you are a potential client for Nyaupe. You get easily excited by useless things. If you know your suffering and the suffering of your village, the suffering of your parents, the suffering of your people, on that day, it's you and your future. You are alone. No pinning of a tire, no rubber bullet, no arrest, nothing. You walk into a voting station. When you enter the door, you have that conversation with yourself that it ends today. Alone, you don't make noise. When they give you a ballot paper, you shake it like this. They will be looking at you, what's wrong? Inside you say, enough, it's enough. You go and vote there. When you get out of a voting station, there is a kumbi of the ANC. He has 2 means. You get in. Oh, hey, sorry. Hey, go and drop me there in town there. That's where you first me. Go and drop me there. When you arrive in town, yes. Sorry, I forgot my card. Just take me back to the campus. It's your money. That could be your money that they are stealing from Department of Education, that they are stealing from municipalities. That is your kumbi. Get into it. And when they drop you, what about faith too? So that they get you are not written yet who you voted for. How about Sheba, the roommate, the neighbor, why you smile? What went wrong? When you say faithful, I voted for economic freedom. Tomorrow, the people